Hello, great mind. It's always my joy and pleasure to be in front of your face to speak with you. I mean, there's a way it tortures me. I mean, it makes me feel real good to come before you to speak and share my little knowledge with you again. And today I'm going to be talking about one of the many things that music has taught me. Like I always say, don't just play music. Don't just do music. Let music teach you. I mean, music is a teacher on its own. And if you are open, if your mind is open to learn, you can learn a lot from music itself. And today I'm going to be talking about the concept of intensity and consistency. As much as we live our lives, as much, yes, intensity, as much, and as long as we live our lives, which somehow pictures consistency, we must prepare our minds to pick the lessons that life has prepared for us. We must prepare our minds to pick those lessons. And when we talk about intensity, intensity is simply the degree to which something is done. How much, would I say how much passion is put into it with respect to music. For example, if I am presented with a couple of notes, let's say on my pentatonic, and I am asked, to make use of those notes. And, I go this way. And I go. I mean, I'm playing with so much intensity, but it really isn't making sense. It just seems like I'm playing just a random, set of notes. Playing around my pentatonic. But I'm playing, yes, I'm so intense into it, but somehow I'm not yet conveying it. It's taking quite a while, I guess, for you to understand that I'm trying to play something. But now, that's about intensity. Now, in consistency is simply when you fix this into rhythm and groove. Now, talking about consistency, I'm going to play the 4/0 beat, which is under the Latin time signature. The Latin groove or the Latin style. And consistency is simply grooving. Now, listen to this. Now you saw how that went. Deep within that groove I was playing, you could find essence. Now, it now makes meaning to you. The groove makes meaning to you, and you can actually swing and dance to it. So also, the drum beat that was playing here, you could feel the groove, and it was inviting you to dance to the groove. Now, consistency is simply constant repetition of something. Now, for example, you're into agriculture. Consistency says that, okay, if it's time to water your plants, if it's time to water your crop, let me put it that way, or your crops, if there's any word like that, then you have to have a consistent way of approaching it. Now, this is one of the greatest things that music has taught me, that as much as we love intensity, as much as we can put so much activity in the now, what matters is how we are consistent. Because if you want to achieve results, and especially great results in life, you have to be consistent in whatever you do. For example, this groove I just played now made you feel somehow. And the truth about music, like I had a senior player and a mentor said That was Victor Wooten. He said, people won't remember how many notes you played. They won't remember how many chords you played, but they will remember how you made them feel. And how you make them feel is with respect to your consistency. Even in character, your consistency in character is what makes people respect you, is what makes people want to have a relationship with you. I mean, what makes people want to relate with you on one level or the other. So I urge you today, in whatever it is you are doing, be consistent. If you're practicing or doing music, have a consistent practice routine. Have a consistent practice routine. Don't just wake up and just do it anyhow. You have to be consistent with it. It is not how much you do in the now, but how much you're consistent with what you do. I repeat, it is not how much you do in the now, but how much you are consistent in what you do. Have a wonderful day. I remain Oluwatobi Ajiboye, also known as Bazzik T, Africa's #1 bass guitar mentor and music coach. God bless you. Don't just do music. Let music teach you. Have a blessed day. Hello, great minds. Hope you're doing awesome today. I am so glad to bring to you our groove hack of the day. Now, while grooving, a lot of times, there are some other add-ons we can fix into our groove that can make us sound pretty mature. Now, no matter how difficult it might seem, as much as possible, try to open up your mind, and some of these hacks can make you sound amazingly top-notch. Now, what I'm about to show you here today is one of the techniques I get to use when I am playing a slap groove. And it somehow just brings in so much beauty to whatever groove I am playing. Down thumb, up thumb, double pluck with my index and my middle finger, and we have our hammer on our left hand, followed by a thumb and a hammer on. Have your down thumb, you're holding down your note on your left hand, then up, percussive index block, percussive middle block, hammer on your left on the same note, then thumb. So we have So that's simply a hack of the day. While playing your groove, whatever groove it is, you can actually apply this hack to give some sort of amazingness and awesomeness to it. Let me repeat it once again for those who probably didn't get it the first time. I played slowly this time around. Let me draw you closer. Now let's go. So that's our groove hack number 3. Have a wonderful and an amazing day. I love you with all my heart. Bye.
Let me tell you how this camera can take you around the world. Back then, you would have to travel several hours, several kilometers, and cross oceans to attend an event or office meeting and conference. But now, Soundbank TV can bring these events virtually to you via the internet with modern-day technology. Do you have an office meeting or event you'd love to live stream or conference virtually? For just 100,000 naira, Soundbank TV will prepare you for your virtual event by providing public address system, TV screen, camera, and our live streaming and virtual conferencing rig. We are your one-stop and total solution to virtual conferencing and live streaming. That's how the camera can take you around the world. Kindly call or send a WhatsApp message on 0909 734 3926, 08111 500-439 to place a booking. We also have other live streaming packages.
Hey, hello, great minds. Hope you're doing awesome today and having a lovely and a blessed day. I would always ask because if you want to make progress on your instrument, first and foremost, you need to be fine emotionally. So I'm not just asking for protocol's sake. If you're doing awesome, I'm glad you are. If you're not doing awesome, you could send me a message or a chat and we could share your burden, and trust God to help you feel better. So don't forget my goal is to see a calculated and an intelligent bass player, and you can't disconnect a calculated and an intelligent bass player from good emotions, good feelings, and a unique personality. Let me put it that way. Yes. So today we are having our live class. Yes, focusing on goal setting for productive practice sessions. Goal setting, because why I thought about having this seminar, this is the video aspect of the seminar, is because a lot of times we see people play and they sound so awesome, and we now meet another category of people that play and somehow really there is, with so much energy they are playing, but not really making so much sense. And this a lot of times helps to separate the productive people from the unproductive people. So when we practice, what matters is that we know what we are doing. We are not just practicing because we love to play the instrument. No, we are practicing because we understand that we have to attain mastery on our instrument. So as much as passion is necessary for growth, and practice is necessary for progress, we need to understand that it's important to set goals for ourselves. We need to set goals. Okay, this is what I want to achieve in the next 2 years. This is how I want to sound in the next 3 years as a bass player. It's very, very important that we have goals. And the truth about it is, like, for example, when we look at certain financial goals, I'm sure some of us have goals we set at the beginning of this year. And, you told yourself, okay, this year I want to make 10 million naira in profit. Or this year I want to make 30 million naira in profit. I don't need to tell you my own, but just try and imagine it. But, we have goals and we set goals for ourselves. Okay, this is what I want to achieve. But now, what happens in goal setting, especially in finances, or let me say in finances, is not just about you speaking about it, but you need to have a plan. Okay, this is what I want to achieve. Okay, in a year we have 12 months. So you tell yourself, okay, in the first quarter of the year, this is what I want to achieve. In the second quarter of the year, achieve. In the third quarter of the year, this is what I want to achieve. So you are not just dabbling into it. You are now intentional about giving yourself a time frame. You're giving yourself a time frame within which you want to achieve that objective or that aim. So if I want to say I want to save maybe 100,000 naira a month, I now break it into days. In a month, how many days do we have? I know in January we have 31 days. So if I need to save up 100,000 naira at the end of January, or if I need to save up 100,000 naira in January, I now have to divide 100,000 naira, not 100 naira. 100 naira is too petty for you. 100,000 naira in January. I have to divide my 100,000 naira by 30 days or by 31 days. And when you calculate that, that means, let me get my calculator. So if I'm planning to save 100,000 naira in the month of January, 100,000 naira divided by 31. That means I'll have to save 3,225 naira, 0.80645166129. Now, I actually stressed out all the points, after the dots, for you to understand that even the dots matter. So that means every financial decision you make in the month of January, you must be strict enough to understand that you have to pass through saving that exact amount of money daily for you to arrive at 100,000 naira. Well, your plan might not be a daily plan. You could have a weekly plan. So if I'm trying to save 100,000 naira in a month, I divide it by 4 weeks. What I will end up with, or where I will end up, is actually 25,000 naira per week. It might be 2 weeks. It might be bi-monthly, in 2 months. In a month, you want to save this twice. So our goal is to achieve a savings of 100,000 naira. So when you set goals, basically you're actually giving yourself an assignment with a time frame. So if you don't have a time frame, you've not set an assignment for yourself. And it will be difficult for you to achieve what you are pursuing. The next question is, what is goal setting? Goal setting is simply identifying something you want to achieve or accomplish and giving yourself a time frame within which you want to achieve that thing. So like I earlier said, your goals have to be measurable. And how you measure them is based on the time frame you give to it and also the energy you give to it. So it's important that when you are setting your goal, you understand that it has to have a beginning, it has to have a midpoint, and it also has to have an end point. So the end point is actually where you have now achieved the goal you are pursuing. I talked about financial goals. Also in music, we have music goals. And for you to become a calculated and intelligent musician and bass player, your goals have to be properly set. Your goals have to be set. You need to understand and know what you want to achieve within a frame of time. For example, I want to become a great bass player. The first thing is I need to set out on my journey of being a bass player. And that will bring me to identifying the elements, the components, and what is involved that will help me become a great bass player. So it's not just something that just comes off to your head and you just pour it on the table. No, it takes time. Example again, I want to become a great slap bass player. I'll definitely have to set a plan for myself. I have to set a plan. Okay, what are the things that I need to do to become a slap bass player? And what is the time frame I need to put for myself or to fix for myself or to accrue for myself if I want to become a great slap bass player? And one of the things that you have to do when you want to become a great slap bass player is to also listen to other slap bass players or slap bass lines, and you try to replicate. But how then do you replicate if you don't set a goal? A goal simply is something that motivates you, something that distincts you, something that keeps you undistracted, something that keeps you on your toes. And a goal will also separate you. There's what we call separation. If you want to be a great bass player and you want to be a good goal setter and a good goal getter, it's very important that you learn to separate yourself from the crowd. Of course, definitely you have to practice. And your personal practice is not your performance time. It's a time where you have to enter into your practice sessions intentionally. Now you are entering with a goal that this is what you hope to achieve at the end of your practice session, or this is what you hope to achieve after 2 weeks of consistent practice on that particular project. Now, our project is a slap line. I'm going to be playing a slap line, and I will help you understand how to break down your goals with that slap line. But before that, there are steps that you take in the process of goal setting and goal getting. The first thing is to set your goal. What is your goal? Now, our goal is to score a particular slap line, which I will be playing. That's our goal. We want to play it exactly like that. The next is to make a plan. Okay, what is your plan concerning the slap line. How do you intend to approach it? Like I said, a lot of people just dabble into things. And so you spend hours, countless hours wasting your time because you have not set a goal that this is what you hope to achieve in so and so day. So you have to make a plan. Then the number 3 is you get to work. Get to work. You have to get to work. Like, for example, talking about even making a plan. Before I shot this video, I actually had to make a plan. My goal is for you to understand how to set goals in a way that it helps you achieve productive practice sessions. So I actually had to I wrote down my plan, which I'm even reading from a book here. I wrote down my plan of what I hope to teach you, what I hope you would understand. So after making a plan, as you're making your plan, you write it down. It's just like an architect. You write out, or the architect draws the plan of the building and presents it to the civil engineer or the builder. So make a plan, write out, okay, this is what I hope to achieve between so day and so day. This is what I hope to achieve between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Before this video shoot, I already had a plan that, okay, by so and so time, I should be done with this video shoot. And when you get to work, which is after making a plan, after getting to work, you focus on it, stick to it. Don't be distracted. There will be distractions, but as much as possible, understand that you have set a goal for yourself. I'll stress again, our idea on the BGM program and our motto is to become an intelligent and calculated bass player. Not just knowing what to play, but why you should play it, how you should play it, and when you should play it also. So you need to stick to it, focus. Then finally, you reach your goal. And that's the point where you cheer yourself up and say, yes, I have met the plans I had. I have met the goal. And this, when a footballer plays, the idea, no. I'm so excited about this example because when you see Pele on the field or Ronaldo or Ronaldinho or Messi, sorry, I'm not a football fan, but at least I hear some of those lingos and those names. When you see them approaching the goalpost, the idea is to score. The reason why they are on that field, on that pitch, is because of the goal. That's why when they score the goal, they celebrate. And sometimes you hear the commentator say, it's a goal! And that's the way you should celebrate yourself when you set out to achieve something. One of the reasons why we don't celebrate is because we don't have a goal initially. Because if you truly have a goal, something to look forward to, something you're looking forward to achieving, I tell you, when you achieve it, you'll be excited. When I was struggling to become a slap bass player, I struggled, but I had a goal. And eventually, I was able to achieve what I was pursuing on slap bass. So you need to set out goals for yourself. Don't forget, set goals. Number 2, plan. Have a plan. Number 3, get to work. Number 4, focus and stick to it. Number 5, reach the goal and celebrate. Celebrate like you have never done before when you achieve a goal. So I'm going to be playing a slap line right now. And I'm using that to explain goal setting in order to achieve productive practice sessions, which, of course, will eventually emancipate you into a great bass player. So I'll be playing a bass line on the tempo of 120 beats per minute. That's double of the tick of our clock. And I'll be breaking it down with respect to explaining goal setting and goal getting. So here is our slap line, beautiful line. That's our slap line, and I'm sure you enjoyed that line. Well, quite stunty, but I intentionally wanted to play a slap line so I don't play something you are probably used to. Well, this might be a walkover for some of us, But, well, that's just it, basically. And I still wrote out how to break this. My note has been such a treasure for me on BGM9. And I wrote out the steps. So like I said, the first step is to get a goal, set your goal, then make a plan. So I had to write out my plan. Okay, if I am just hearing this slap line for the first time, how do I actually approach it? The first step, not step. I'm not saying step, I'm saying step. The first step is to listen consistently. Now I'll play the slap line and listen over and over and over again. They said, what you want to become, you must first observe. So if I have a mentor and I want to sound like the mentor or be like the mentor, I must observe the person over and over again. So you listen to this slap line consistently. Now, I must say that this slap line I played is very, very easy. But why it might look strange is because you have not played it before, or probably you have not heard it being combined this way before. So the first step is to listen consistently. Now, at this point, you might not have a strict time frame for yourself. You might not say, I want to listen for 3 months or 4 months, because there are some things you might have to score on the go that you might have to represent on your next Sunday service. So, but listen consistently. Let this be over and over again. There are times I listen to some songs for as long as 3 months consistently. Whenever I'm in my house, I play it from morning till night. I've done this over and over again in the past where I had to play. When I was a student in school, sometimes lecture-free days, I play that song from morning and I keep listening and listening. Even when I'm reading, I keep listening and listening throughout the day. So listen consistently. That's the first step. Then number 2, identify the details. Now, what are the details of this slap line I played? What are the details? The details, first of all, is that it is a slap line. So I'm not playing. That's not what I'm playing. It's a slap line. That's the first detail. Then secondly, another detail is I'm playing on my pentatonic. So at least you know that you have an idea, okay, this is the scale within which this bass line was formed. Don't forget our pentatonic is our 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. That's our pentatonic. That's do, re, mi. Sorry, let me do it on this key. Do, re, mi, sol, la, do, re, mi, sol, la. That's our pentatonic. So our bass line is actually formed around the pentatonic. Even that line I played is actually a pentatonic. Now, it's a slap line, or you could say it's a pentatonic line. Then you now say that pentatonic line was slapped. That's the technicalities within which you played it on your right hand was your slap pattern. So I slapped my line. Then the next thing is to walk up your movement. Now, before you walk up your movement, you need to know, okay, it's a pentatonic line. From what degree in the scale am I moving? So we are moving from, basically just opening up the notes now. I'm giving you the progression or how the line progresses. So we have sol, la, do, re, mi, sol, la, la, do, re, mi, la, sol, mi, re, do, la, do, re, mi. Sorry, I'm adding some percussiveness to it, but basically that's the line. So I'm going. So that's what I'm playing. Pentatonic. Now, the next thing is get used to the tempo. Get used to the tempo. Now, we are playing on a tempo. We are playing with respect to a beat, a metronome. We are not just playing out of the blues. Now, at this point, some bass players miss it a lot because they forget that they're actually playing a groove to a tempo. So it now becomes difficult for them to acclimatize when they're playing without a drummer. So we are actually playing on a tempo, and here we are playing on 120 beats per minute. 120 beats per minute. Now, one thing you love to do at this point is not to slap. But you try and play your major scale. Try and play your runs. Your runs. Major scale, minor scale. Try and see that you are comfortable playing your runs on 120 beats per minute. So if I were to play it, and I have this, you get comfortable playing this first. So you need to get comfortable playing on 120 BPM. Playing virtually anything, Play you could play any run. For me, I could play quite a number of stuff. So I could get comfortable playing some runs, playing some bass lines on this tempo because I'm used to it. But it's important that you get used to the tempo, or as in the tempo within which that slap line was played, which is 120 beats per minute. Then the next thing is to join the details. Is at this point you now begin to join your details. That's the details that you identified on step 2. Join those details. How do you join those details? Don't worry. On our next topic, that's developing speed and accuracy, you will understand this very well. But for now, I still believe you can understand it. You join your details. For example, what are the details here? You're simply joining them. So we have so we are connecting. We are connecting the points. And finally, next, you now play on a slow tempo. Play on a slow tempo. Before you play on a slow tempo, like I said, you join the details. So while joining the details, you of course know you are not going to be playing on full speed, top notch. No. You play on a slow tempo. You join the details slowly, Then you play slowly or play on a slow tempo. And by playing on the slow tempo, what you can simply do is you can drop it halfway. You can make your tempo 60. Depends on what is comfortable for you. You can make your tempo 60. You can make your tempo 70. Just find a good point to start from. Okay, I made it 70 here. So I made my tempo 70 at that point. So I'm trying to play that line on a slow tempo. Then I'll now play finally on the tempo of the song itself. I played that over and over again. I play finally on that tempo. But now it's not just about you making a plan. Don't forget, it's not just about you making a plan. The point of writing, we did that. We wrote our plan. The point of getting to work, we got to work. Sticking to it is now when you now use your time frame. You set your time frame for yourself. Okay, if your practice session is 3 hours, you can actually break what you want to do within those 3 hours. Like listening consistently, I can use 1 hour at that point because at that point, it has to do with your full consciousness. You need to get all the details. So you're listening both actively and passively. Don't worry, we'll get to that too. You're listening both actively and passively. So you're listening to pick out the details, but you're listening over time, consistently. So I could take 1 hour on that. I could identify the details. That's if my practice session is 3 hours, I could identify the details in maybe 25 minutes. I'll sit down. Well, that's for me. I don't know about you. It might be different for you. But that is different, or that is slower, that you are not as fast as I am, means you only need more time of practice, a lot more time. So identifying the details will simply mean me picking. Now I'm now picking out the details. A lot of times I write, when I do this, I try to write, okay, there was a percussiveness, or there was a ghost note at this point. Okay, there was a slide at this point. If you've watched the videos on developing a great tone, you will understand what I'm saying. There was a slide. Okay, there was a bend. Okay, there was a vibrato at this point. Now I'm identifying the details of the bass line. I don't want to break this bass line fully. I don't want to open it completely, because I would love you to try it. It's while trying it, you will now discover your own uniqueness too. Yes, I want you to play it exactly, but you would also discover some mistakes that you can actually make use of. And that's another thing with identifying details. Sometimes when you listen, you might get the detail wrongly, but it doesn't mean that what you will play would be nonsense or irrelevant. So that's why I want you to do this practically on your own. Make an attempt. Attempt it. Then, working on the movements, like I said, I'm moving from one point to another. Okay, I'm moving from my 5 to my 6. That's my first line. And, I get used to the tempo, join the details, play slowly or on a slow tempo, then play on the tempo. Now, like I said, 1 hour to listen consistently, 25 minutes to identify the details. Working on the movements, I can take another 25 minutes. That's already 1 hour, 50 minutes. Getting used to the tempo, depending on how much time you schedule for your practice session. Like I said, I'm taking 3 hours. Getting used to the tempo, I go 20 minutes. So I practice on that tempo, the tempo of the line of that, the bass line I'm trying to score. So I go 20 minutes. That means we've used 2 hours, 10 minutes. So joining the details, I could use 20 minutes on that. That's 2 hours, 30 minutes gone. Playing slowly, I can use 20 minutes on that. Then playing on the tempo, I could use another 10 minutes on that. Now, that's for me. It might be different for you. It might even be faster. You might be that great bass player that will eventually mentor me, and probably a lot faster than I am in your response and your ability to decode what was played. But this is how I would measure my own. If I were to be practicing and trying to score a line, this is probably most likely the way I will approach it. So if you set your goals properly, now your intention or your objective or what you want to achieve is playing that slap line correctly. Now this listen carefully, consistently, identify the details, work on the movements. It might not be a one practice session affair. It might not be a one practice session affair. It's something you might need to do over a month. Sometimes over 2 months, sometimes over a year. But that consistency has to be there. Okay, if you're doing it over a month, you could decide, okay, you want to use 2 hours every day. Now, just the way I spelled out what I'll do in 3 hours, you can work on the percentage and import or export that percentage into 2 hours for a month stretch. So it could be it could be that you're using 1 day to listen alone. Only listening. You're listening 1 full day. Or it could be that you're using 1 week to listen alone. Or it could be that you're doing 7 days for 1 day. First day, listen consistently. Second day, identify the details. Third day, work on the movement. Get used to the tempo. Fourth day. Fifth day, join the details. Sixth day, play slowly or on a slow tempo. Seventh day, play on the tempo of the song itself or the tempo of the line you're trying to score. So the idea is if you are doing that for 7 days, that means you do for the first 7 days in the month. The next 7 days, you repeat the process. The next 7 days again, you repeat the process. By choice, like I said. So for me, I would rather, do all these things over time. Maybe I'll set, since there are 7 items here, That means I could say every 4 days. Every 4 days. That means in 4 days, I will do 1 to 7. In 4 days. In 4 days, I will do the entire thing. Yes, 1 to 7. The next 4 days, I could do the entire thing again. So I'm setting a time frame for myself that, okay, at the end of 30 days or 31 days, I should have meet my goal. Now, that's how to do it. Any other way that you do it, if it works, it's just by chance. But if you want to get it perfectly, you have to follow a principle. You have to set a goal. You have to make your plans. You have to go through the process of making your plans, get to work, stick to it. Then finally you reach your goal and celebrate that you reached your goal. So goal setting is a very, 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 very important tool or aspect in your productivity during your practice sessions. Your sessions, yes, should be planned. I mean, it should be properly planned. I mean, even if you have a choir rehearsal, the music director should have a plan of what they hope to achieve at the end of the rehearsal. And you can't have a plan without taking records. You have to record just before your rehearsal or your personal practice session or group practice session or group rehearsals. You have to record what you plan to do within the time frames. You need to have time intervals and time frames that, okay, between this time and this time, this is what I hope to achieve. So as much as possible, make sure that you set goals for yourself. Will help you stay undistracted and a lot more. Now, I've talked about a lot. I've sent you resources via distracted and a lot more. Now, I've talked about a lot. I've sent you resources via typing and resources via voice note. But just for emphasis sake, I'm saying this again on the video. So thank you so much for your time with me today. Don't forget, what I played, if it's too fast for you, you can always use the VLC player to slow it down. That's for the point of picking out the details. You can slow it down so you can pick out every detail of what I played. Every detail. You can actually pick it out by slowing down with the VLC player. It's an app on your Google Play Store. You'll find it on your Apple App Store. You'll find it also. So please do well to work on this. Let me say this is an assignment for you. I'll be glad if you can submit in the next 2 days. The next 2 days, work on it. No matter how poor you sound and no matter how great you sound, send it to me, because you might feel it sounds too poor for you to send to me, or you might feel we are too small, like, this is chicken change. But play it still. Just play it. Don't forget, on the BGM program, we are learning, we are unlearning, and we are relearning also. So thank you so much. Have a blessed and a wonderful day. I'll be seeing you on our next topic soon, developing speed and accuracy as a bass player. God bless you. Bye. Hello, great mind. It's always my joy and pleasure to be in front of your face to speak with you. I mean, there's a way it tortures me. I mean, it makes me feel real good to come before you to speak and share my little knowledge with you again. And today I'm going to be talking about one of the many things that music has taught me. Like I always say, don't just play music. Don't just do music. Let music teach you. I mean, music is a teacher on its own. And if you are open, if your mind is open to learn, you can learn a lot from music itself. And today I'm going to be talking about the concept of intensity and consistency. As much as we live our lives, as much, yes, intensity, as much, and as long as we live our lives, which somehow pictures consistency, we must prepare our minds to pick the lessons that life has prepared for us. We must prepare our minds to pick those lessons. And when we talk about intensity, intensity is simply the degree to which something is done. How much, would I say, how much passion is put into it with respect to music. For example, if I am presented with a couple of notes, let's say on my pentatonic, and I am asked, to make use of those notes. And, I go this way. And I go. I'm playing with so much intensity, but it really isn't making sense. It just seems like I'm playing just a random, set of notes. Playing around my pentatonic. But I'm playing, yes, I'm so intense into it, but somehow I'm not yet conveying meaning. It is taking quite a while, I guess, for you to understand that I'm trying to play something. But now, that's about intensity. Now, inconsistency. Consistency is simply when you fix this into rhythm and groove. Now, talking about consistency, I'm going to play the 4/0 beat, which is under the Latin time signature. The Latin groove or the Latin style. And consistency is simply grooving. Now, listen to this. That went deep within that groove I was playing. You could find essence. Now it now makes meaning to you. The groove makes meaning to you, and you can actually swing and dance to it. So also the drum beat that was playing here, you could feel the groove, and it was inviting you to dance to the groove. Now, consistency is simply constant repetition of something. Now, for example, you're into agriculture. Consistency says that, okay, if it's time to water your plants, if it's time to water your crop, let me put it that way, or your crops, if there's any word like that, then you have to have a consistent way of approaching it. Now, this is one of the greatest things that music has taught me, that as much as we love intensity, as much as we can put so much activity in the now, what matters is how we are consistent. Because if you want to achieve results, and especially great results in life, you have to be consistent in whatever you do. For example, this groove I just played now made you feel somehow. And the truth about music, like I had a senior player and a mentor said, that was Victor Wooten, he said, people won't remember how many notes you played. They won't remember how many chords you played, but they will remember how you made them feel. And how you make them feel is with respect to your consistency. Even in character, your consistency in character is what makes people respect you, is what makes people want to have a relationship with you. What makes people want to relate with you on one level or the other. So I urge you today, in whatever it is you are doing, be consistent. If you're practicing or doing music, have a consistent practice routine. Have a consistent practice routine. Don't just wake up and just do it anyhow. You have to be consistent with it. It is not how much you do in the now, but how much you're consistent with what you do. I repeat, it is not how much you do in the now, but how much you are consistent in what you do. Have a wonderful day. I remain Oluwatobi Ajiboye, also known as Bazzik, Africa's #1 bass guitar mentor and music coach. God bless you. Don't just do music. Let music teach you. Have a blessed day.